So quite a bit happened in racing this weekend. In ARCA, it's the officially the end of an era in ARCA with a championship decided and the 2025 ARCA season officially in the books. The Modifieds Championship gets down to its final leg as we're now down to the nitty-gritty for the Modifieds title. And for F1, well, while the Constructors Championship has officially been wrapped up with 6 races remaining, a team clinching a championship 6 races early. The NASCAR playoff slappies aren't going to like that. Yeah, fuck them anyway. But while one championship's clinched, the main championship, the driver's title, that's far from being clinched. It ain't even close to over yet. It's only just begun. But let's see what else happened in racing this weekend. So, starting off with the ARCA season finale in Toledo. Well, Toledo, it marks a lot of end of an eras. I mean, the first one is obviously Toledo being the finale for the foreseeable future, since next year Toledo is going to be moving to, I believe it's like the 5th or 6th race of the calendar based on what the 2026 schedule was the other day. Since I believe it's after Talladega, which, that's a choice. That's a choice to move Toledo up that high in the schedule. Honestly, I don't know why they're moving Toledo away from the finale and putting the finale back at Kansas. I mean, I don't understand that one bit. Like, Toledo was an absolute banger for the finale. I don't think Toledo needed to move at all. Toledo was perfect as the fucking finale. But hey, you know, it is what it is at the end of the day. Kansas is pretty good, too. Well, maybe not ARCA-wise. It's definitely good for a Cup Series, though. I'll talk more about the ARCA schedule in a little bit. But to the race itself, in terms of the championship, well, the championship was clinched right at the very start. Because all Brennan Butterbean Queen had to do to clinch the ARCA championship this year was just start the car and take the green flag, in which he did exactly that. So once the engines got fired, Brennan Queen officially clinches the 2025 ARCA championship. Honestly, well-deserved by him. Congrats to Brennan Bean on winning the 2025 ARCA Championship. Well-deserved by him. He earned it fair and square. I know a lot of people are going to complain about it, be like, oh, this is why ARCA needs a playoff. Because we can't have a driver clinch a championship in the finale just by starting the car. That makes it anticlimactic. Shut the fuck up, for Christ's sakes. Shut your goddamn mouths. You can bitch about it all you want. At the end of the day, here are the facts. Everybody had 20 fucking races to not put themselves in a position where Brennan Butterbean Queen can clinch the championship like that. Everybody in the ARCA field had 20 races to do that. They all failed to take advantage of their time. Don't get mad at Brennan Queen because he took advantage of those 20 races and nobody else did, because... Alright, it's not Brennan Queen's fault that everybody else in ARCA is a poorly run shithole. Honestly, they all should have fucking raced better. Alright, if Brennan Queen could just bitch stop the field like that for 20 races, then he's earned the right to clinch the title that way. And he deserves the title. And also, if Brennan Queen has a situation where he can clinch the title just by starting the car, then he more than likely deserves the championship. Just proves that nobody was really on his level this year. Anyway, with that little rant out of the way, because I need to fucking drill some fucking common sense in the goddamn chase slappies before we get to Phoenix, all I say is, if you think what I just said there was that bad, oh ho ho. Just imagine what I'm gonna fucking say when I lose my fucking shit at Phoenix in November. If Corey Heim or Connor Zilic, no, both of them, get screwed out of respective championships this year. You think what I just said about anyone crying about the ARCA championship being clinched surely was that bad? Oh, you're in for a rude awakening in Phoenix if Heim and Zilic both get screwed out of the championship. Cup Series, not too much, because there isn't really a clear-cut choice in Cup. Because there's like 5-6 guys in Cup you can make a case for the championship and say, yeah, they deserved it. You know, we'll see how the final 5 races, no, final 5 races in Cup play out. But to the ARCA race itself, well, this race was dominated by Max Reeves. Even though it wasn't easy, it was a solid race overall despite Reeves bitch slapping the field. Even though Brennan Queen did put up a fight in this race, which, Oh wait, Brendan Queen, despite winning the title, still trying hard for the win? Oh, but I was told by all the Chase playoff slappies on Twitter that, oh, the champion doesn't try hard once he clinches the title early. And NASCAR Twitter is never wrong, you know. Obviously, that's a fucking lie. But in the end, despite Brendan Queen's best efforts, Max Reeves just wanted it more. And Reeves gets the win at Toledo. And I also forgot to mention, not only was Toledo being the finale mark the end of an era in ARCA, this is also the end of an era in ARCA because both Venturini Motorsports and Rev Racing are both shutting down at the end of the year. Venturini is shutting down all operations after more than 30 plus years in ARCA and over 100 wins. Like, honestly, losing Venturini Motorsports in ARCA, that's a big blow to ARCA. One of the most successful teams in ARCA history is shutting down. Like, to put this in perspective, this is the equivalent of, like, Hendrick Motorsports shut down their Cup Series operation tomorrow. Or if a team like Ferrari shut down their F1 operations tomorrow. Or hell, even if a team like Penske or Chip Ganassi shut down their IndyCar operations tomorrow. That's how much of a magnitude Venturini Motorsports shutting down is for ARCA. One of the most successful teams in ARCA history is now done after 30 plus years. Honestly, all I say to Venturini is thank you for all the memories. You will be missed. And of course, they did go out pretty solidly with Isabel Robusto getting a 4th place finish, being the highest placing Venturini car. Also, the last race for Rev Racing for the foreseeable future. No, they haven't. It wasn't said that if they were shutting down or not, but they won't be racing in 2026. So that's a big blow there too. And now, starting next year in 2026, the top 2 teams in ARCA next year will be Nitro Motorsports and the Pinnacle Racing Group in 2026. So that will be interesting. ARCA will be a lot different next year. It will never be the same ever again. But overall, in terms of the season, it was actually a pretty solid, still some pretty solid moments in racing overall this season. The main negatives about the season was a lot of problems with the green-white checkers, and the car counts, and of course the lack of competition. But outside that, it was some solid racing overall, a solid season out of ARCA. But ARCA's gonna be a lot different next year, especially with Venturini gone. Officially the end of an era. And for Brendan Queen, well, his future looks pretty bright regardless, Now, whether he goes to Xfinity full-time next year or Trucks full-time next year or is part-time in some capacity, that's yet to be determined. But hey, his future is very bright. That's for sure. Enjoy your ARCA championship, Brendan Queen. I tip my cap to you. Now to the modifieds race at Riverhead Speedway. And well, this race was dominated by Austin Beers for the most part. He dominated the early portions of this race. Although we did get a little midfield action with Justin Bonsignor and Kyle Bonsignor, the duking it out for the win, the Tuca. Those two Bonsignors battling out. Austin Beers would then merge in the final 40 laps to take the lead. And then took over from there. Once Beers got the lead from Justin Bonsignor in the final 40 laps, that was all she rode for Austin as Austin cruised away and never looked back and gets the win. And that win's going to pay big in terms of the championship, as now that win extends its gap over Bonsignor in the championship, as now we're down to the final 2 races in a modified season. We have Thompson Speedway next week, and then Martinsville in a couple weeks. Only 2 more races left. As in terms of the championship, it's looking like a 2-way title fight between Austin Beers and Justin Bonsignor for the title. Now you got guys like, Patrick Emmerling and Craig Lutz and Matt Hirschman all in that mix. Like, they all still have shots at the title. Mathematically, they still have a shot, but it's pretty unlikely. All 3 of them are going to need a lot of help in the final 2 races to have even a chance at the championship. But, 13 points between Beers and Bonsignor, anything can happen in the final 2 races. That modified championship's going to get real interesting these next 2 weeks. Will Bonsignor win another title to add to his modified's GOAT case? Or is this Austin Beers' year? Tune into these final 2 races to find out. Now we get to the F1 race in Singapore under the lights of Marina Bay in Singapore. Let's be honest, the only appeal this track has is at night. Let's be honest, would anybody actually give a shit about this race if it was in the daytime? Probably not. And I'll be honest, road courses and street circuits look fucking badass and beautiful under lights. NASCAR should honestly take notes for that, especially with the Charlotte Roval. I mean, if you really want people to give more of a shit about the Roval, you should maybe run that race on Saturday night. I mean, you have lights for the infield. The track has lights. You could do it. It's up to NASCAR if they have the balls to pull the trigger or not. I mean, if it's season-long points next year, what do you have to lose there? But anyway, to this race itself, it was a pretty boring F1 race. It was a pretty boring race at Singapore. There were no real safety cars at all, no real crashes. All 20 cars finished in this race, which is pretty surprising because usually Singapore has been known as a safety car magnet because a lot of crashes and brake failures happen, especially with how hot and humid it gets in Singapore, especially being right by the ocean. But yeah, it was really just a George Russell show as Russell dominated this race from flag to flag. Was really uncontested the entire time. Not even Verstappen had any answers for him. Like, the only real drama from this race came on the start when Verstappen made some contact with Lando. And then Lando got forced up into Oscar Piastri. And Lando had his front wing damaged. And then when we all thought maybe we were going to see McLaren do the stupid Popeye rules. And have Lando give the spot back to Piastri. Until McLaren said no, they ain't giving the spot back. And then Piastri complained about the favoritism, saying it's unfair. Yeah, which he is right, it is unfair, because let's be honest, if the roles were reversed in that situation, McLaren would have told Piastri to give the spot back to Lando. Because we all know Lando Norris is now the goddamn golden child of McLaren. Like, the fact that if the roles were reversed and you would have let Lando get the spot back, but not the other way around, that's clear favoritism by McLaren. You know, it also doesn't help McLaren's case to not show that it's not favoritism. The fact that later on in the race, Oscar Piastri would have a slow pit stop. After now McLaren decided to fuck up one of his stops. And they gave Lando a good pit stop. And we all saw a couple races ago in Monza when Lando had the slow stop. And then they blamed Piastri for it. And by telling Piastri to give the spot back to Lando. What does McLaren do this time? No swap. Neither driver gets swapped. So it's okay. So it's okay if the crew fucks up Oscar Piastri's pit stop. But when you fuck up Lando's pit stop, Oscar has to give the spot back. Go fuck yourself, McLaren, you fucking pieces of shit. Stupid British cunts. Like, honestly, I hope Oscar Piastri fucking leaves McLaren after 2026 and goes to Ferrari. Because it's pretty obvious he will never be treated as the #1 driver at McLaren. It is very clear Lando is the fucking golden boy at fucking McLaren. It's becoming clear as day. Because apparently Lando can do no wrong anymore. Which is complete fucking horseshit. All I say is just be glad you clinched the Constructors title in this race despite all the bullshit. Because if you didn't, I would go even harder on you worthless sacks of shit. For this bullcrap. Like, honestly, McLaren is the reason why fucking team orders need to be fucking banned in F1. Like, just absolute bullshit. It's like, wow, so whenever Lando fucks up, Oscar has to get the spot back. But once Oscar fucks up, no, Lando doesn't have to give anything back. That's complete bullshit, and McLaren knows it. But they just want to do and they're just doing everything they can to make sure Lando wins the championship this year. But up front, George Russell won the race with ease with Verstappen second. But even despite all the championship drama between Piastri and Lando, Verstappen still gained some ground on both of them, so don't count Verstappen out. He still mathematically has a shot with 6 races left. Like, he still has a shot. It's pretty unlikely, but he still has a chance. I mean, if we get a situation where both McLaren cars crash each other out in the race and Verstappen can win, that will put Verstappen right back in the title hunt. So, I mean, with 6 races left and 3 sprint races also in there, too. Don't count Verstappen out just yet. He still has a shot. Especially the last couple weeks, Verstappen has been faster than both McLarens. So don't count him out there just yet. It ain't over. The championship's just begun. Especially with the McLaren Civil War really heating up. But yeah, of course, like I mentioned, McLaren clinched the Constructors title 6 races early. Well, that usually tends to happen when your two drivers are the two protagonists fighting for the championship this year. I'll be honest, I fucking hope Oscar Piastri wins the championship this year just to shove it in McLaren's face for their favoritism of Orlando. But some tells me McLaren's gonna fuck Piastri over big time real soon in these final 6 races. And try and get Lando the championship, their little golden child. But like I said, I hope fucking Oscar leaves after 2026 to go to Ferrari in 2027 whenever Lewis decides to finally retire. Because Oscar Piastri deserves to be the #1 driver somewhere, and he's not going to get that with McLaren, as it looks like. Just pretty fucking disappointing. And for everyone thinking, oh, maybe now that McLaren clinched the Constructors title, they'll actually let both drivers actually race now. Don't get your hopes up there yet. If McLaren has a chance with that stupid Popeye rules bullshit, They'll fucking abuse it to make sure Lando wins the title. Let's be realistic. I really already know how this is most likely going to end. Unless Oscar can prevent Lando from becoming world champion. Could he? Maybe. But I do have my doubts. 6 races, though, anything can happen. So, yeah, that does it for this recap. The next F1 race isn't until COTA in 2 weeks. Now, in terms of COTA, yeah, normally I would say maybe with F1 going to be racing in America next, they could have a chance to beat NASCAR in the ratings. Until I look at what race they're competing against that weekend. And what race is the F1 race in COTA competing against in 2 weeks? Well, shit, it's Talladega. Yeah, there's no chance F1 beats Talladega in the ratings. Hell, the Cup race at Dega, that might be the only chase race that actually gets over 3 million viewers. Because it's fucking Talladega. That's why. I'll be honest. I'll be really shocked if these two situations happen. If A, Talladega gets less than 2 million viewers, and B, if F1 actually beats Talladega in the ratings. If those two things happen, I'll give F1 Crow in 2 weeks. In 3 weeks. If it happens. But F1's going to need a miracle to fucking beat Talladega in the ratings. That's for damn sure. Because it's fucking Dega. I'll say this, though. If the Dega race gets less than 2 million, and if F1 beats Dega in the ratings, then that all but proves to NASCAR that the playoffs are not the way to go with the championship. But yeah, in terms of the next recap, well, see you next week for ARCA West at Las Vegas Bullring, and for Modifieds at Thompson next week. I'm out.